Okay, Schlockmeister fans, going back to an old favorite of mine, a horror spoof called WACKO. Let's check it out.
13 years ago. Hi, my name is Mary. This is my big sister Pam. She's getting ready for the Halloween pumpkin prom.
And this is their dad, George Kennedy, spying on his daughter. Yep. It's a theme in this movie.
Damn it, Daddy, what are you doing?
Nothing, dear. I'm just mowing the lawn.
Anyway, this is taking place 13 years in the past. It's the first part of the film, and there's little Mary watching her sister Pam get butchered by the lawnmower killer. 13 years later, she's now grown up. She's Julia Duffy, and her father's still pulling that same stunt.
Mowing the lawn.
Sure, Daddy. That's what you always say.
This is coffee-guzzling, Twinkie-devouring Joe Don Baker, a disheveled cop who busted the lawnmower killer 13 years ago. He thinks he's back, and he's on the case.
Go ahead, kid, laugh. But you're too young to remember those ghastly, grisly, ghoulish, god-awful murder in state's history.
Yeah.
Mary's boyfriend, Norman.
I know what you mean.
They're about to have sex for the first time real soon.
Norman?
Mary!
Stop that right now!
Mary! I can't help it if I sound like a lawnmower every time I get excited.
Everyone's talking about him. People that know him just love him. So if you're feeling down or if you're feeling blue, this dude will make you feel super cool. Tony Schlockmeisters.
I am respected everywhere.
Tony Schlockmeisters.
Girls always pulling out my hair. When I walk rosy around,
Boom, 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 boom.
beholding the side of my
Boom,
mouth.
boom, boom, boom.
My temperature rises, my soul realizes. She almost approaches my league when she's hot.
Tony Schlockmeisters. Ow!
Very funny.
That's Andrew Dice Clay.
Talk to you.
This is Charles Napier, the chief.
Every Halloween for 13 years, you come in here screaming about a lawnmower murder.
Apparently, they never did catch the lawnmower killer. He's been after him for 13
I
years.
don't give a damn if it's Jack the Ripper's birthday. Now look, I'm not sending 3 cops to some pumpkin prom.
Apparently, a guy from a mental institution just escaped.
Well, the guy was a wacko. They brought him in 13 years ago. His records were destroyed in a fire. All I know is that he saw something horrible and violent and retreated completely into his psyche.
Mary, she saw the whole thing.
This is the
She's bound to be
flashback
screwed up by the terrible images she must carry with her for the rest of her life.
when he told them that their daughter had been killed.
Look, I'm sorry.
Well, we've ever had a chance to...
Clark.
Norman's getting excited again. Vice Principal, Harry Palms, Jeff Altman.
Look at him now. Yes, gentle as a lamb and blank as a fart.
I'd a gonad like you ever become vice principal.
There's the loony who escaped from the mental institution. He is suspect number 1. Mary's mom. Here's Mary's brother, Damien.
How many times have I told you this is not a toy? Who is it? Just a moment. Space, because no one can hear you.
She got a lawnmower thrown through her window.
Signed, a friend.
Marge! Can't go into a tizzy every time some nut throws a lawnmower through the window.
Take 2 aspirin. Call me in the morning.
That when I took all of
Dr.
these
Moreau,
tears,
a.k.a.
but now I
Dr.
have
Mengele,
0 wins. 113.
is injecting the winless football team.
Tonight, my pets. I mean men. Get out on that field and show them what we are made. I'll be tough.
This is the first win they're going to get in 13 years.
The animals. Let's get out on that field and tear them limb from limb.
She got a phone call.
Friend of yours, too?
Probably.
The actress Elizabeth Daily, one of Mary's friends. She found the loony.
Hi, big guy. You want to go to the Halloween pumpkin prom with me?
Mary shaving her legs in the bath.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Nothing, dear. I was...
It's going along with it.
Sure, Daddy. That's what you always say.
Norman brought his mother over for dinner.
I don't get out of the house much, Mrs. Gray, so this is a real treat for me.
Well, it's a real treat for us, too, Mrs. Bates.
My friend, well, I can just squeeze your head too, but I get pumpkin pie. Oh,
Lawnmower Killer catches Harry Palms.
Everything you need.
Elizabeth Daily. Tony and his girl are sneaking downstairs in the cafeteria.
I want cherries.
You got it.
2 of them.
You got it. You got it. Give me a second.
1, 2.
Tony ends up down the garbage disposal.
School property.
His girl gets stuffed in the dishwasher.
Now, what is your first name? Doctor. No. I mean, really?
I'm not kidding. Doctor is my first name. I don't have a degree in anything.
The lawnmower killer confronts Mary, and the chase is on. She tried to kill him, failed. Oops. Then she shoots him. But as always, that's not going to kill him either. Mary gets her own riding lawnmower and runs him over. But even that doesn't kill our lawnmower killer.
It's Johnny.
Turns out that our loony was one of the kids who witnessed the killings 13 years ago, and that's why he's been in a mental institution. He's not the killer.
Johnny, how have you been?
Oh, Mary.
Elephant.
Not you, him.
I'm the lawnmower killer.
The real killer shows up
I'm not kidding.
and apologizes for the killings years earlier.
He really is the lawnmower killer.
So who's under the pumpkin head? Why, it's Joe Don Baker. Cigarette in mouth.
But why?
And why did he do it?
I only kill those people in that just to prove a point. That the lawnmower killer could return again. Anywhere. Anytime.
So Norman and Mary were finally about to try to do it. And then this happened. Spoof of Alien. He gives birth to a baby lawnmower. But it was just a dream.
Mary, what is it? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, just another lawnmower killer nightmare, huh?
Damn it, Daddy, what are you doing?
Just mowing the lawn.
Sure, Daddy. That's what you always say.
After the credits roll, all right, let's talk about WACKO. This is a movie that I taped back in the 80s on a beta tape. I think I watched it at the time and I enjoyed it. It was a spoof, obviously, but I enjoyed it. And I saw it again in the 90s and I really got a liking of it then. I was a big fan of Joysticks, which is also directed by Graydon Clark. There's a lot of crossover actors and actresses in this movie as well. Scott McGinnis, Joe Don Baker, and even Erin Halligan, who was the girlfriend Sandy at the end of Joysticks. She has a very small little bit part in here. Plus, seeing Andrew Dice Clay in it, I think this may have been his first role ever as well. Singing and dancing, trying to be a John Travolta type. It was funny. Anyway, I saw it several times in the 90s. I picked up a DVD that Graydon Clark was selling from his website. It was basically a VHS rip at the time, but he signed it, autographed it for me, and then later on I actually picked up the PAL DVD of this from overseas, and very, very recently, the good folks at Vinegar Syndrome decided to put this out on Blu-ray like about a month or two ago, so gotta pick that up as well. There's a slipcover for this. I don't have that. I just got the regular Blu-ray, but Graydon Clark, who I'm Facebook friends with, is always advertising this book he has called On the Cheap. And he was saying, hey, buy my book now. You can get a discount on some of my Blu-rays. So I picked up Without Warning for $9.99 as well as WACKO for $9.99. And I got the book. So you can't go wrong with that. That was a hell of a good deal. So speaking of On the Cheap, thank you, Mr. Clark. It's a spoof about horror movies, came out in 1982. It's the dreaded lawnmower killer. Killed some people 13 years earlier. Now he's allegedly back and killing people again. Joe Don Baker is the disheveled cop who's trying to catch the lawnmower killer. He was around. He was a rookie back 13 years ago when it first happened. Julia Duffy plays this girl whose brother was killed by the lawnmower killer, and she's kind of messed up by that. Her father, George Kennedy, her mother, Stella Stevens. So it basically follows her through high school. Now she's about to lose her virginity to Scott McGinnis, her boyfriend Norman Bates, who every time he gets excited, he starts to sound like a lawnmower. There's just all kinds of weird little lawnmower jokes throughout this film, and just kind of strange humor as well. There's so many scenes that are just kind of funny that you can't even show them all. There's just way too many of them. But anyway, at the end, it turns out Joe Don Baker is the lawnmower killer. The real lawnmower killer basically comes back and says, hey, I was the killer, but I'm over that now. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. Joe Don Baker decided to don the lawnmower killer outfit just because he wanted to prove to people that the lawnmower killer could come back. There you go. So he killed a few people, and then he dies at the end. The very last scene in the movie, after the credits roll even, they show him opening his eyes. Anyway, the WACKO. I like this movie quite a bit. Again, I'm a big fan of Graydon Clark's films, and this is no different. So I think it's a good spoof, and this Blu-ray is incredible. It's widescreen. It's got some audio commentary. Got from Mr. Clark, a bunch of extra stuff as well. So anyway, it's called WACKO. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this one too. And if you haven't seen it, pick it up. Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you for putting this out. It's pretty cool. So it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. So check it out. Leave some comments down below, and we'll talk about it. It's called WACKO. I do mean it. Watch it. Bye.